Hey guys, what's up? Today I'll be talking about Howling 3, The Marsupials. And this movie, I remember this movie well because the first time I came across it was when my dad brought VHS tape home. You know, he had a friend, and they used to work in the movie theaters, that did the camera work. And back in the days, man, if you know somebody, they hook you up, by taping theatrical releases, like the actual theatrical format of a movie and video cassette. Yeah, we all know what they're called, but that was back in the days, by the way, guys. So I came across Howling 3 because of that, you know. And it was kind of weird because it took place in Australia, if I'm corrected. And I actually liked this movie. To me, I feel like it's underrated. A lot of people just totally trash Howling 3 because they feel like a Howling feel to the movie. The movie was like horror, it had comedy elements. And I liked it, man. It was like, to me, you know what I mean? For this type of movie in the Howling franchise, it's kind of weird. It actually had character development, because you got like a scientist, you got a guy who's in love with the woman, you got the woman who's in love with the guy. You also got a Russian ballerina dancer. Um, you also got the military. You got friends of the professor. So you got a little bit of character development in this movie, a little bit in a way. And wow, so much story. The movie starts off with this videotape, like from the early 1900s, by this werewolf getting stabbed by these tribes, and his professor. He ended up showing it to a student, and he was hired by this guy to you think werewolves really exist, pretty much. So the professor's going to prove his theory that werewolves do exist in a way. Plus, you got another story about this young girl who escaped from her tribe because the guy wants her and stuff, the leader of the tribe. So she escapes. She encountered this young man who's driving a car. He chased her and wanted to become an actress in one of his movies that he was working on. And later on, they both develop a relationship. The young man, the young woman from the village called Flo, spells backwards, pretty much wolf, you know. And you also got these three members of the village going after the young girl to bring her back to the village, you know. Um, while we got the professor working on his theory, about the werewolf. They found out that there was a young female, that she was a wolf. She mentioned of a town named Flo. The young female escapes. You also found out later in the movie she was pregnant by the young man, so she could have like a little baby werewolf. The nun was able to get the female and bring her back to the village, while the doctor and his friend, with the help of the military, go into the village, and they can end up capturing these werewolves to study them, and later on they want to massacre them. And the professor felt like it was wrong, so he released two of the members of the village to go with him, to help them escape from being massacred by these military. And while Chaboa, the young female who was in love with the young man, she ended up giving birth to the baby, and she found that her man was looking for her too, and she spotted him in the cave. They ended up spending time together, being on the run from the hunters, and trying to survive while this other old man from the village is protecting the young couple, battling the hunters by trying to transform into a werewolf spirit, like a powerful werewolf spirit he summons. Um, Later on, he died, and the the young couple and the leader of the werewolf village and the Russian woman who was a wolf and the professor all meet up in one place. They gave the old man a burning burial, like they burned his body so he could move on to the next life. The leader of the village decided to walk off and decided to summon the wolf spirit himself, become the bigger werewolf to fight off the military. While he died, and pretty much the rest of them, the surviving members of the village and the professor and the young man who's in love with Shibawa, they were able to live together into another place to form their own little community with their own family. The young man decided he wanted to move on, and he takes Shibawa with him and his son to move out. They live in California. The professor and his woman, and he has a daughter with the Russian wolf woman. And later on, as they live in their life, the movie progressed a little bit later on when the son visited the professor, the son of Shibawa, and his father, who was in love with Shibawa. He grew up, he visited the professor, telling him how he's doing, how his family's doing, and you can able to see his mom on TV. She don't get the Academy Award. and then you get your twist ending with the camera flashing that Chabot reveals herself to be a werewolf in the worldwide media, and it was like a little twist, you know. Plus, you got the three nuns who were still alive from the village, you know, watching them on TV. The professor's friends watching this on TV. The professor and his woman, the Russian werewolf, was watching this on TV. They was getting nervous and shocked by Chabot turning into a full werewolf, when she was accepted an Academy Award, and you know, and then she runs off the stage pretty much Chabot, and then you get your credits rolling up. All in all, Howling 3 Marsupials, I felt like it was a really enjoyable movie. Actually like the Howling 3, the part of the franchise. I thought it was enjoyable, just like 1 and 2. And I know a lot of people hate on it, but you know what, I say give it a chance. And peace, guys, and see you later.